For Honor is one of the most exciting multiplayer titles I've played in a long time. In For Honor, the combat is deep and, more importantly, satisfying. With the offensive attacks you'll be using, you're essentially just choosing between light and heavy attacks. That being said, consistently changing your stances to attack or block, guard-breaking opponents, and rolling out of the way creates a surprisingly robust combat system that's at its best in one-on-one duels. From early footage, I was most worried about the stance indicator that takes center stage on the game's heads-up display. While having to pay attention to on-screen prompts rather than actual animations of the enemies is immersion-breaking at times, you won't really mind with all of the things going on during a complex, heated battle. Of course, it wouldn't be a Ubisoft launch title without some DRM fuck-ups, and For Honor is particularly a mess. It took me a day and a half to finally be able to play the game. Not only was multiplayer unavailable, but even single player, training, and the main menu were all locked behind an impenetrable wall of DRM. When the servers are down, you cannot play the game. You can't even load up to the main menu. And from the reports online, get ready for the servers to be down a lot. Of course, by now you've already heard that they're using peer-to-peer connections rather than dedicated servers, which is just a clear indication of things to come, that Ubisoft clearly isn't supporting For Honor like it should, despite the AAA $79.99 Canadian price tag. When I was finally able to get into the game, however, I was pleasantly surprised. The single player is a decent induction to the basic tenets of the combat system, but also presents somewhat of a missed opportunity. The story's broken into 3 chapters in which you'll play as knights, Vikings, and samurais. The locations are beautifully rendered and many evoke the same grandeur of massive battles as Rise Son of Rome did when the Xbox One launched. That being said, despite the grandiose nature of the backdrops, they are just that, backdrops. And you can't interact with pretty much anything. When the illusion fades away, you realize it's just going from arena to arena in a Double Dragon-esque beat-em-up. But the glimpses of those amazing sieges and huge warring factions really did fill me up with excitement of what this deep combat really could be. Just imagine the depth and complexity of this combat system, mixed with a game like The Witcher 3's beautifully rendered, deep world. But alas, what we have right now is not that. We have a fighting game mixed with a beat-em-up, and it's a serviceably good one at that. The lack of split-screen multiplayer is, of course, also a missed opportunity, as I can only imagine how much fun one-on-one duels would be when sitting on the same couch. But For Honor's bread and butter is the online multiplayer, and it's something that they've pulled off surprisingly well. The 3 game modes you'll be playing are Dominion, which is a 4 versus 4 territory capturing game, Duel, which is 1 versus 1, using the best of 5 rounds, and Team Deathmatch, which is 4 versus 4. Already, as of 2 days into the game's launch, Team Deathmatch isn't very populated, and it seems that Dominion is the more popular of the game modes. That being said, for me, Duel Mode is my favorite. There's something so special about entering into this arena, locking on to an approaching samurai, and seeing the widescreen bars narrow around your field of view. For this experience alone, For Honor is unlike anything I've ever played. The Dominion game mode, however, is no slouch. It's really a fantastic opportunity for gamers to pull off some really unique strategies that we haven't necessarily seen before in multiplayer games. In addition to the 4 opposing warriors, there are AI fodder for you to mow down, similar to Titanfall. Throughout the game, to push up the lines of the battlefield, take down some of the opposing team's AI spawns, and allow your own teammates to push through the map. It's not a huge element of the game, but at the same time, it provides a little break from the monotony of just chasing down those other players. Character customization is just alright and won't, in all likelihood, interest you for long. Well, what is there in For Honor is very, very compelling. I can't help wondering how long it'll satisfy gamers' bloodlusts. There had better be a lot of content coming in the season pass. All in all, For Honor isn't the most content-packed experience out there, and the asking price of $79.99 Canadian currently seems a bit high for me. If you get the chance, maybe rent the title now to see if the hype lives up, and then you can purchase the full game when it drops to about half price at Christmas. God knows how fast the prices of these multiplayer games, especially on consoles, drop as soon as the player base drops off. And besides, if you hold off, maybe Ubisoft will even fix the connectivity issues. But in its current state, For Honor is a solid game with some unique ideas and a combat system that I would love to see integrated into more robust open world RPGs